This is Build a Lecture 3 done on microbe-human interactions for Chapter 13. Humans. Microbes and humans have a unique relationship. It's known to be a beneficial mutualistic relationship. This means that both the microbe as well as the human host are going to benefit off each other equally. This is an example of this would be where there's a bacterium found in the gut called E. coli. E. coli exists there naturally. You can't get rid of it. Yes, E. coli can make you sick, but it is also always in the gut at all times, and it is somewhat beneficial. The E. coli will rely on the food that we eat, that we digest in our intestines, for its own nutrients, so it can survive. And in turn, it creates vitamin K, which is required of us to make clotting factors. If our blood cannot clot, then we could potentially bleed to death anytime we get, a cut in certain areas and stuff like that, which could be very bad. We also, as humans, cannot possibly digest every bit of food that we eat. Bacteria that enter our body and stuff in the gut will partially eat and digest what we cannot, and it allows us to, be able to efficiently digest portions of food that our body can actually use. We also have the invader-host relationship, where it can either be a microbe that's already existing in the body that can all of a sudden change and attack us, or it can be one that just all outright invades us out of nowhere. Kind of like when COVID-19 started and we had those spike protein microbes enter the body to cause, just wreak havoc. They exist everywhere at all times, microbes. They can be harmful or helpful. It just depends on certain factors, which we'll go over in one of the slides coming up. They can cause health or disease depending on the type of microbe and other factors, which we will touch on in this presentation. In my little excerpt here, picture up here, we see that normal microbiota keep opportunistic pathogens in check. That would be like explained right here. Broad spectrum antibiotics kill non-resistant cells, and then drug-resistant pathogens will proliferate and can cause a superinfection, which means they can make you sick. Microbes are neither wholly good nor wholly bad. We have what are called resident microbiota. This refers to the microbiota that we have in our body at all times. They live here. It's their home. As much as it's our home, we share it together. Most are harmless, while others may cause infections that can turn into major diseases. It's kind of like the circle of life, it just keeps going. They help us digest our food. They can aid in metabolism by creating enzymes that will break down the substances that we otherwise could not. They would just be stuck in our body forever, which can in turn cause all kinds of issues. Even healthy people have their own fair share of microbes with potential to cause infection. Healthy people typically also will at all times harbor bacteria that is harmful bacteria. It's just we don't have enough numbers of that bacteria in our body to cause the infection. I will be going over that in this as well in a later slide. Microbes are very essential for human life. We could not exist without them. We would not survive probably even a day without them. What is a disease? A disease is when there's a change in the body that's not normally there, and it makes us sick, and we're no longer healthy. The body is no longer in a form of homeostasis. This is considered to be in a state of health where everything is on an equilibrium. Harmful microbes can cause disease and infection. Common illnesses caused by microbes that we see all the time, particularly in the winter months when it's colder, they like to come out. So when school first starts for kids, you see this stuff a lot. But it's the flu. Hand, foot, and mouth disease is very common among children especially. You can get them from like swimming pools and sharing utensils, stuff like that. The common cold, strep throat, stomach viruses, and RSV. How it works. Every single human body contains its own resident microbiota. We all have our individual microbiota, and that can even differ as far as our left hand from our right hand. They'll have different types of microbiota. Neither one are exactly the same. This means that they have microorganisms that are always with them. They're found on the skin, they're found in the organs of the body, they're found in the eyelashes. They used to think that like the lungs of the human body were sterile, meaning they did not have any microbiota, but this is in fact not true. They do. The largest majority of microbes do not cause harm to the host, as I stated prior. There are different types of microbiota. We have the colonists, which are normal bacteria, and then we have transients, which are the ones can be here today, gone tomorrow, they'll leave. They can pass through, or they can stay and never cause any problem, but they can also all of a sudden change and become an invader. It's kind of like the Hulk on the Avengers. Like one minute he's, nice, good guy, very calm, and the next minute he turns into this big green angry guy. That's kind of how that works with the microbiota. They can be normal one minute, and then all of a sudden a random gene change can cause them to form into something that is pathogenic. Invaders can also cause disease and illness. This is ones that just come in and straight up cause disease. They're not ones that were already there. And then resident microbiota can become the invader, which is what is seen with the transients. Infection and disease. An infection occurs when microbes make it past our body's natural defenses that are in place to keep out pathogens. They will enter the body through cells of the body, then they will multiply and make more of themselves. They will then damage the body's tissues and organs, and this will result in disease and infections. Diseases means that we're leaving a healthy state. Our homeostasis is completely thrown off. Homeostasis is what we require as human beings to continue to live. Other things that can cause disease of the human body are genetics. Some things are just passed down, like autoimmune diseases can be passed down. Old age can cause it, just normal old age. There's certain illnesses and diseases that can come with old age. It has a natural cause. Body systems or organs are not working as they should in cases such as immune compromised people, like people with HIV. HIV will eventually become AIDS. They do have medicines now that can, I'm pretty sure, keep that stage from happening, but eventually it probably still will happen down the line. Diet can also affect us. If we're not eating good foods like fruits and vegetables with well-balanced portions and stuff like that, if we're eating a lot of junk, that can cause diseases as well, such as diabetes or obesity, which can in turn cause heart disease, stroke, things like of that nature. Pregnancy can also cause diseases and infections. Surgery can cause diseases and infection. They open us up, so anytime that our open organs are exposed to the air, there's microbes in the air, and they can enter the body that way. High levels of stress can cause infection and disease. They can cause anxiety, depression, all kinds of things can go wrong there. It can actually lead to obesity. You can be so stressed out that you'll start eating food a lot. Cancer can also cause, obviously, disease. Opportunistic biota and the E. coli in the digestive tract, that's an example. Like E. coli is already in the digestive tract, but it's okay if it's in the digestive tract. It's not going to make you sick because that's where it belongs and that's where it came from. But, however, where it's so close to the urinary tract area, if it travels to the urinary system, particularly in women, it can result in what's called as a UTI or a urinary tract infection. Defenses. Microbial antagonism. This is our own Avengers. Microbes that keep us safe. They use defense tactics. Normal bacteria will outcompete and outgrow pathogens. This is what keeps us from getting sick. Constant conflict between diseases causing agents and friendly microbiota. Important knowledge: infection must meet minimum requirement levels of bacteria to cause infection. We have all these different types of illnesses here, and it's showing you which types or how many cells they need, like such as tuberculosis. You need at least 10 cells of that infectious material to cause you to be sick. If numbers for each type of the infection are lower than the minimum, infection is not likely to occur. But if the number is higher, the infection is most likely going to be imminent, and it will have a quick, rapid onset. We have the portal of entry. This is where microbes can only cause disease if they enter the body through a site that will allow it to survive and spread. Certain portals are like the respiratory tract. Most common form is that one. You have mucous membranes, GI tract, through needles like shots, injecting if someone's injecting drugs, sexual contact, which is HIV, and through the eyes. Step 1, we have finding and using correct portal of entry. Step 2 is attaching via adhesion, which must be secure. Here I have the following that are examples. Microbes must make it past the host defenses using phagocytes and specific immunity. Step 3 is disease onset, and the final step is exiting the host. Thank you.